Hello, this is Billy, and today I'm going to show anyone who is curious how to remove the, well, you know what, I've already removed the deck from my Husqvarna, so I'm actually going to put it back on, but it's literally, the way to take it off is the exact same opposite of putting it back on, so I'll explain that as well as I can. Well, I know I probably should have taken a video to taking it off first, but I actually had to learn how to do it myself, so it was kind of fidgety at first, but we'll get to that. Don't worry about that. It's super, super easy if this is the kind of Husqvarna that you have. So here's what I have. Got a Husk, and it is the model Mike Zulu 5424 Sierra. That's the whole front and back of it right there. And this is the deck already removed and upside down. So I needed to take it off because I needed to change my butter knives that I had for blades that were just absolutely terrible. Here in New England, we grow rocks, as everybody knows. So I tend to hit a lot of rocks before you even notice them. So I had to put new blades on. I didn't put new blades on. I just took these ones off and I sharpened them. My old man bought me a nice grinder for Christmas. So I tried to do the first time of, removing the deck, taking off the blades, grinding them myself, putting them back on, cleaning the deck, and mounting it back up and going from there. So basically, I already, as you can see, it was already removed. It's very simple. If you've seen some videos online, this is very similar, except there's only 2 cotter pins you got to worry about instead of like 6 or something like that. But you do have to remove the belt first. So on this particular model, I found that when the deck is fully still, intact and everything, you can go ahead and there's one of the belt spindles, you can pull that towards you and it'll release it'll ease the tension in the belt. And you just pull one belt off. There is only one belt. You pull the belt off of one spindle, and basically the one that's in the back, there's a motor one back here that you can see. That's the one that you want to take off ultimately, because that's the one that will still be attached to the lawnmower itself. So remove that one eventually once you've figured out a way to ease the tension on the belt. Again, you can just stick your hand right underneath there, the lower the deck as possible, as low as possible. Stick your hand on there about halfway and pull one of the spindles towards you, and that'll ease the tension on the belt, and just pull the belt right off. Super easy. And then work your way to the back and pull the one off the motor back there. That's the one you really want to worry about. The belt is actually still attached, and it's underneath here, and it's in full working condition. I just have it wrapped up underneath so it didn't get tangled around anything. So it's in there. You can see it's still hanging on. But anyways, so in order to do this, you can use yourself either a breaker bar, or if you have an impact gun, that'll work as well. You can actually do this whole thing without having to take the deck off if you have an impact gun or a breaker bar, I guess. But it's just as easy to, if you're curious how to take it off so you can clean it right, it's easier to take it off. This thing isn't that, it's a little heavy, but it's not really, too difficult to work with. So thankfully my wife, at the bequest of my old man, or her father, my father-in-law, he got me a nice breaker bar, 25-inch. She got me for my birthday just the other day, June 14th. Happy birthday, me. Flag Day, Army's birthday. Well, I did serve, so go Army. I was a combat medic. Anyways, 25-inch breaker bar. And they also got me, in my garage in there, there's a torque wrench that they got me. It goes anywhere from like, I think 10 pounds up to 75 or something like that, but you want in the neighborhood of like 45 to 50, because I already checked the manual. You're welcome to check the manual yourself, but it says 45 to 50 pounds on there. So basically you use the big old torque wrench here, I'm sorry, the breaker bar, and I had to use a 5/8 inch bit. I used a little extension on there as well, but 5/8. And you take one of these here blocks, get yourself a big block of wood, stick it in there somewhere so that this thing can't rotate no further, and you go counterclockwise, righty tighty, lefty loosey, as you're looking at it from downwards here. If it's still hooked up base wise, you got to go, make sure you're going the right way, so the other way. So, but righty tighty, lefty loosey as you're looking down at it, and it came off fairly simple. All 3 of them came off fairly simple. Once the bolt is off, you just pull these things straight up. These were dull as hell at one point, like I said, butter knives, but I ground them down pretty good. And they're hard to see, the sharp, with the, there we go, there's a little bit better. You can see it, but again, you're cutting grass, you're not cutting steak knives like my neighbor said. So when you're done grinding them or purchasing new ones, whatever you want to go on, you just put them right back in the same place just as you found it. And you want to make sure that the wings here, these wings are pointed down away from you, because when this thing flips back over again, These wings here create an upward thrust of the, or an upward, thrust? Yeah, is that what, of the air? An upward motion of the air? Someone help me out, the science buffs here. But anyways, the current moves upwards, and that's what blows it outwards. So you want to make sure that those wings are face down. And then the nuts here, I mean, just finger tighten them down. Here's the one that came right off. So you just put it right in there. Screw down, screw down. Finger tight to start off. That's down there. And I'm going to go grab my torque wrench. I'm going to set it to 50. And I'll come back and I'll continue this in just a minute. Okay, so we're back. Got myself my torque wrench. It is set to 50. You can see that there's a 50 marker on there. Line is straight down with the 0. It's all tightened up at the bottom. And how this works here, if you don't know, you just stick it on the head and you pull until you hear a click or you feel a click, whichever comes first. Usually it's very light sounding. I just did this one over here real quick. It's very light to hear. So I'll see if we can get it to go on this one here. There we go. You might be wondering, hey, was that piece of wood that just cracked that you heard? No, that was the click. Pop, what have you. These pieces of wood come really in handy when you're trying to lock this thing in place. There we go. It's not going nowhere. So one more time with this guy. Tighten her down a little bit. Click. So now all three are in, good and snug. Jack's driving the tractor. Okay, I'm gonna go because my 3-year-old son thinks he's Mario Andretti on one of those tractors back there. So other than that, I'll make another video here shortly putting this thing back on. Okay, let's see if we can do this here. Don't mind my sandals or shorts. I'm not a professional, nor do I give a rat's ass. Best thing to do you can do is grab some gloves. Thing's kind of heavy. If you got someone to help you, cool. If not, you're a strong-bodied individual, male or female, or anything in between, you should be okay. Use this thing here to your advantage if you can see it. It's the round piece on the back roller bar. You're gonna flip it right over on that side. I don't like the other side, only because the blower, or the plastic piece for the blower is over. It's more off to my right, so if I were to roll it back like this, I'd like crush it a little bit. This way, use that to your advantage. Rolls right up on top of it. Okay, 1, 2, 3. Just like this. It's pretty darn heavy, so like that. Hold up for a second. I'm gonna get on the other side. Oh my gosh, my kids. They never shut up. They never shut up. I'll be right back. Okay. Excuse my kids. They are like absolute bandits out here in the middle of the evening. It's unbelievable. Anyways, doesn't matter. So where the hell was I? So we got this thing flipped over, and here's your spindles. There's your belt. Everything's in good condition. I just got it wrapped up here. It's easy. Tucked it in here so it doesn't get wrapped up around anything. See? Boop. And this one goes back to your motor just like this. So for right now. So if you need to oil or grease up your spindles, there's one there. There's a second one. There's a third one you should do up real quick. You also got a couple by the tires. There's one right there. There she is. And obviously you're gonna have one over here again. So those are the ones I know of. And you know what? I'm sure as shit that there's probably a couple more around here somewhere that I'm not sure of. So if you're a smart dude and you know where they're at and you want to let me know, please, by all means, because I'm sick and tired of having this thing taken to the shop. I don't have a tow trailer or nothing, so there's like 75 bucks per round for one way, 150 round trip, plus labor and everything and parts and whatnot. So this is what I'm doing right now, free for me, but probably would have been like a $300 job at the local shop out here in New England, because they charge an arm and a leg for really nothing. Anything out that costs any kind of different work anywhere else around the country, but out here these freaking rich snobs think that everything needs more money. That's the Commonwealth of Massachusetts. Like, it's commonly wealthy. That's the problem. That's everybody's freaking rich as shit for no reason. Sorry, didn't mean that tangent. Anyways, here we go. So this part goes up just like this. You see these pieces right here are hanging off? So that bolt and nut right there, there's 1, 2, 3, 4. Those pieces are gonna go right here. 1, 2, right here. That's the second one. And come around. 3. Right there, can you see? Stinking focus. And 4. Anyway, some holes, the black holes. You see what I'm talking about? They're gonna go right in there. And then after those connections are made, these pieces go in the front. They're gonna rest right inside, just like so. Just like that. See? They're gonna go like that. And then these are the cotter pins, the only 2 cotter pins. There's one here and there's gonna be one right next to it. Those pieces go right in here. They'll go just like that in there. Super easy. So 6 connections, 4 bolts and 2 cotter pins, and your hood rich. So all you gotta do is slide this thing back under there. You know, maybe do it on the ground. There's a driveway over there, but I've got to get through, so not a whole lot of room. So it's not going to slide all that easy on the grass, but it's doable because I got it off, obviously. But choose a more reasonable position if you need to. So I'll turn this off. I'm going to slide it back under, and then I'll show you a couple connections. Okay, so real quick, I'm about to put this deck back on, but I just want to show you guys real quick. Look, it's a little 8-inch Wen bench grinder, nothing serious. It's got some heavy grit, light grit. You know, so you don't need anything special to sharpen these blades down. I'm sure there's like grinders you can do by hand if you wanted to be safe, but I've never really used grinders before. Like I said, my dad got me that one for Christmas, and it's worked just fine for the blades here and some chisels I've done. So I've already slid it back underneath, but I haven't hooked anything up yet, because I want you to see that it's probably best if you can get yourself a good 4x4, some kind of sticker like that. I got another one over there. You can use a 2x4, whatever you can. It helps to just get the blade or get the deck up off the ground a little bit, because these pieces right here need to go back and connect into there, right? So it's easier not to hold it with your hand and lift it up like I did when I was taking it off. So these, very simple, nut and bolt system. They go back into the black hole. 1, 2, right there. That one goes in the black hole. Come around to the other side. 3 and 4. There's the 4th one. There's the hole. So those 4, they just go back in. Pretty simple. And then when you're done, you'll come up front. And again, these things here. One will sit in there, and it'll eventually. Sorry, I got some puff in my mouth here. Eventually, it'll hook up right into here, into that hole. They'll all line up. Don't worry about it. It doesn't line up right now because I got it all wonky. Sorry. So that's that. And I'll hook it up, and that'll be that. Okay. Whew. That was a project. But as you can see, that one's back on. There's 2. Actually, you can see that that's wrapped. That chain is kinked. So I'm going to set my phone down real quick and try and unkink it. I'm going to have to loosen it up first. So, in case you're curious, in order to do this job, what worked best for me was an 11/16 socket, 5/8 wrench. Sometimes you're gonna have to stick that thing in the back to hold it. But in this case, I'm gonna loosen this up. There we go. There she goes. See, I just loosened it up and it unkinked itself. Now I can tighten it back up. And sometimes they'll grip right by itself. That one holds very good. That one's not kinked. So that one's good. Just double check it for tightness. It's tight. And here's the kicker. Great. So here's a lesson to be learned. If you got kids or if you're just an idiot, make sure you keep all your nuts and bolts in one place. I have 3 of the 4 that I need. That one's not kinked. However, when I got this one on, I noticed I'm missing my freaking nut for it. So my wife just went and asked my 3-year-old son. He says he took it. Who knows? But we'll find out. I can get another one out at the hardware store. It's not a big deal. As far as the 4x4s go, or 2x4, whatever you choose to use, I used the 4x4. I held up pretty good, but you're still going to have to lift up on it a little bit to get it in just right so you can line up the bolt with the hole. See, that's at a little bit of an angle, so you don't want to damage your threads on the bolt by it sitting right there. So I'm taking a chance, but I think it'll be okay because that part is actually going to be closest to when the nut is tightened down pretty good. So I think I'll be all right. So other than that, that's it. The belt. There's your spindles. Okay, so this one here, you can see with the spring on it. That's the only one that has a spring on it. That's the one that if you grab it from if you're sitting in it on the driver's side, it'll be on your left-hand side. You can reach underneath and you can pull this back this way towards you, and that's what loosens up this belt right here. And then you pop that one off. And then in reverse, when you put this whole deck back down, go back under, put your drive belt in back there, and then come back over here, pull this back as hard as you can, and try and wrap that thing back on. And you're all set. So other than that, just gotta put the foot pad back on, and that's about it, man. And it should be good to go. I'm gonna start her up here real quick and see how she works. Man, it's I don't want to damn things down all the way, but you know what? Without a nut on there, I don't know if I want to bring this deck back up a little bit. Maybe just I'll be right back. Hold on. Everything's okay for now. This whole knot ain't gonna go nowhere. Right there, foot plate. I really don't know if it's worth me kicking on this thing real quick and starting it up without that nut being on there secure to the deck. So I'm not gonna turn it on right now. I'll wait until I get a nut and then I'll load all these videos up. But that's it for your Husqvarna. Okay, so I'm back from Lowe's. For about $2 I found the right part. It's an 11/16 by number 14, in case anybody's curious. So again, here's the first one all set up. That's all locked in place. Second one's all locked in place. No kinks in the chains. Come over here, the other side. Third one's all locked in place. No kinks in the chains. And here's my replacement. See, it's nice chromey colored, not cool gold or brass or bronze or whatever the hell these other ones were. But whatever, it works. So 11/16 by number 14. So get your socket wrench. Make sure you tighten it up pretty good. Also have myself a 5/8 wrench to get on the back, because sometimes you need to hold on to it. There's a 5/8 nut back there. Other than that, I power washed it a little bit, but I'm gonna put this. I'm gonna put my blade protector up. I always put this thing up. I got it on a band because it's easier to actually blow it all over the place. I got a lot of acreage here. There's that, and there's a whole bunch more out back. This takes me about 3 hours to mow, but if I leave it all with that thing down, it leaves it in straight line clumps. I don't know if you can see some of it right now, but it hasn't been cutting very well prior to me cutting or sharpening the blades, because again, I was cutting with, worse than dull butter knives, and it was just chopping a big section of blade up, millions of them at a time or whatever, and you know, just throwing it out there, big giant blades, not mulching it up like it's supposed to. So I sharpened up the blades real good, and we'll see how she works. So I'm going to start this thing up real quick. Set those down. Everything seems to be in order. Choke up. Blades are off. Make sure your park is back. Ain't going, this ain't gonna start up when it's forward. There we go. A little bit more. I just filled it up. It was on empty earlier. Let this run for a second real quick before I start it up. Everything seems to be okay. Double check this blade for the belt. Like the exhaust like an idiot. Oh yeah, belt's still on pretty good. Looks like it's tightening on, tightly on there. Crank her up. I just gotta get out of my way so I don't blow grass into my truck. Alright, here we go. I'm gonna set this thing down to about 3 1/4. No, 3 1/4. Lower the deck. Let's see. Oh, spit out rust all